guys, breaking news. Ben Affleck is no longer directing The Batman. This is disappointing. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. God damn. I don't even want to read it to you guys. This comes from Wait a second. It comes from Comic Book News. Wait, never mind. It comes from Variety, posted on Comic Book News. I'm going to go ahead and read this here. Ben Affleck will no longer direct The Batman, according to Variety. Affleck, who wrote the screenplay and will remain on board as both star and executive producer of the film, has been expressing slight differences of opinion with the studio for some time, indicating that he was more concerned with perfecting the script before going forward, while the studio has concerns about hitting their release date. That is a studio agreement killer. Unless your name is Christopher Nolan, Steven Spielberg, or a few other people, a handful of people, that is a studio negotiation killer. Even Zack Snyder talked about that, like he can't have his way with the studio. Because you also need to make billion-dollar movies first before you can get to that point about delaying things. And they already delayed Batman v Superman once by almost a year, and look how that turned out. Alright, let's continue. Affleck debuted his take on Batman last year in last year's Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, and was generally praised even among the film's harshest critics. He looked poised to be the point-of-view character and de facto lead in this year's Justice League movie, which sees Batman and Wonder Woman assembling the titular superhero team. Blah 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 blah. Here we are. There are certain characters who hold a special place in the hearts of millions, Affleck said in a statement. Performing this role demands focus, passion, and the very best performance I can give. It has become clear that I cannot do both jobs on the level they require. Together with the studio, I have decided to find a partner in directing who will collaborate with me on this massive film. I am still in this, and we are making it, but we are currently looking for a director. I remain extremely committed to this project and look forward to bringing this to life for fans around the world. What do we think about that, people? Might be okay, might not. The filmmaker recently had made some comments suggesting that he was reluctant to direct the film while also starring, indicating that he hoped to get a more comfortable costume to work in and that he understood the scope of the project. Warner Brothers fully supports Ben Affleck's decision and remains committed to working with him to bring a standalone Batman picture to life, the studio said in a statement. Okay, so let's look at the positive points of this first, because here's the thing. The DCEU has kind of been in some shit right now. Like, didn't we, The Flash is completely being rewritten right now. They lost their director, I think, twice already, I think. No, maybe once. We have some problems, obviously. But I think I mentioned this already in another, and everything wrong with Suicide situation. The bigger issue is the fact that the DCEU jumped into something they didn't fully understand, I believe, in terms of movie making. And when I say that, I mean in terms of franchise universe building. Like, you gotta have this really late. You have to have the game plan, and you can't keep on changing the game plan. You have to have a very successful game plan, I suppose, from the get-go. And they've been struggling, obviously. But like I'm saying, the quality part. Or let's look at the good points of this. I think if you take it forward, if this is all true, what Ben Affleck is saying, because I personally, I'm a bit disappointed that he's not directing, because I feel like if there is actually somebody that could get the Batman right, or resolve situations from BVS and get the Batman on the right path and such, and make it a a critical success and a financial success as well. I feel like the combination of Ben Affleck and Johns would work really well. And I remember a lot of us were saying this back in when Ben Affleck, or when Snyder was set to direct BVS and Affleck was cast. And a lot of us were kind of like thinking, we really thought that Ben Affleck would really sort of shadow Snyder. And I remember we all wanted to believe this. Like, Ben Affleck, because he was an Oscar winner and he just hot off the heels of Argo, he was going to be able to use his directing experience to really help bring BVS to life and really bring a good story. Unfortunately, it failed in those aspects. The majority of people believed this, and critically, it did. That's a fact. But the I remember years ago when, or yeah, further than that, when Ben Affleck was rumored to direct the Justice League movie. Not the one we see now, but this is way even before BVS was even a concept. This was before Man of Steel even came out. They were really pushing Ben Affleck to direct Justice League, and I was on board with that because I know how much of a comic fan he is. Now, looking at it now, would that have worked? Probably not. I don't know. But I see what he's saying in terms of, you look at what Mel Gibson was doing with Braveheart. It worked out really well for him. He was directing and acting in it. It worked out really well for him, but I also feel like the demands of Braveheart is way different than making a Batman movie because it is kind of a legacy you have to continue on. Anybody got Nolan's number? Like, no. I'm just kidding. Don't get fucking triggered. My concern, because here's the thing I was also thinking about, because we have things like second directors that do second shots. Nolan never used second directors, but most directors generally have one. But generally they're the people that go and do like the exterior type of stuff, like the scenes and the buildings and all that shit, right? If he co-directed, I still don't like. See, that's the thing. So for me, I understand the positive point is like, okay, he wants to just focus on being a good Batman or just the acting part. If you take that for word, what he's saying, conspiracy theory part of me feels like he just doesn't want his name. He doesn't want his name on directing a bad movie type of deal. If he's not happy with the direction of the way the film's going or what the studio wants, and he doesn't want to put out a shit product, he doesn't want his name on directing a shit product, so that's why he's pulling out of the directing thing. He doesn't want to, because my thoughts on this right now is like, he generally is a very well-liked director. And he's able to make a lot of money and get a lot of projects just directing, putting out films. He's got a directing career right now, which can far extend his acting career. His acting career is, I think, tolerable for most people. Most people, I haven't seen The Accountant yet. It hasn't come out here in Japan yet. I like Gone Girl, but I also felt like, was it Gone Girl or Girl Gone? I don't know. I also felt like that movie worked well with his character. Like, he didn't have to actually, he just had to not really do a lot in that movie. It was more about the crazy bitch and such, who did a great job, by the way. Anyways, so I feel like he's trying to protect this is conspiracy side, I feel like he's just trying to protect his directing credentials. That's why he doesn't want to co-direct as well. I do feel like there's an issue with the studio situations, and the studios are like, look, we got to get a movie out. Whether it's good or bad, nobody cares. As you remember, there was this other article that came out where the producers were like, or not producers, was it? Somebody. They were just like, half the people that watch this movie can't even speak English. They don't care about the quality. They just want flashy lights and all this shit, which speaks some truth to how it goes. I mean, Suicide Squad. Doctor Strange was the #1 movie this weekend in Japan. It just came out, and Suicide Squad was another huge movie in Japan that I personally liked, and a lot of people visually liked out here. But yeah, story-wise, it's like, okay, whatever. And then also think about it this way, anime-wise, like how many bad animes are there out there, but we in America are considered to be great just because it's kind of, okay, it's from Japan, we don't know how good or bad it is, it's foreign to us, so we just take it as is. Anyways, I rambled off. Disappointing, because I really felt like I liked that commitment he had behind him, and he was like, no, I ain't gonna put shit out, I'm gonna delay it to infinity until it's the fucking best Batman movie. I'm like, yeah, do it. Do this shit, man. Delay it forever until you get the best product. And I'm a little bit worried now because it may not be the best product we can get. For whom the bell tolls. But let's think positive about it, I suppose. And like, let's just say there's a massive situation going. Like, let's just say I don't know. Let's just hope for the best, really. Keep Frank Miller's influences out of there. Get Jeff Johns in on this. Like, really, Jeff Johns, you're our only hope, baby. You're our only hope. Red Dread Nation, stand up, speak up. Let me know what you guys think about all this. Goddamn. Goddamn. Let me know what you think about it. I'm out. Peace.
All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know.